Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres, and I'll be taking care of you for this reading. So I will be getting the help from these three books, as I really like the way they explain some things. Alright, so the whole point for this channel is to find our own Ultra Instinct. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get started over here. And we have a very slow, sad beginning with the Five of Cups. These guys are lost. They're pessimistic. They're disappointed. They have a lot of regret. They got left out in the cold. When expectations are dashed, there can be disappointment and loss. The fool may be stuck looking backward, ruminating on her pain and regrets. 3 cups have spilled. I went to the 5 of Cups, and I kept saying 5 of Cups. But this is the 5 of Pentacles. I am sorry. That was a mistake on my part. And I kept saying 5 of Cups, didn't I? I did say 5 of Cups, I think. This is the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Cups is about sadness. These guys are sad, but they're sad because of material things, not because of emotional things. The cups are, they're this. I just read that the cups were spilled. So these guys don't have any spilled cups because the cups represent the emotions. This is the Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, not 5 of Cups. 5 of Pentacles is about material insecurity, not emotional insecurity. Struggle, instability, scarcity. They don't have much. When the 5 of Cups is about sadness. Those are the difference of the Cups and the Pentacles. This is deprivation. At the 5 of Pentacles, the Fool's circumstances have greatly changed. Yes, they have. He lost sight of the true value of things and is now destitute. Perhaps he spent too much time accumulating wealth instead of developing relationships. These would have been helpful for him now, but instead he feels alone. If he could only lose his self-pity and pride, he could see that others can help him. Find support. Now is the time to swallow your pride and search for help. When we ask, we receive. Understand what you need. I think this is the important part. Being clear about how others can help you will make them more willing to step up. Having expectations without being able to define what they are only causes disappointment. That's the key word there, just disappointment. And we have a Princess of Disc, which is a very beautiful card. It's the cover of this book. We have more Pentacle cards. So this is more about material things. And this is the Princess of Discs, which is the Earth of Earth. So it says, we do not know for certain which card of the Thoth Tarot Lady Harris painted last, but the date of the above note suggests she was working on the Princess of Disc toward the very end of the project. And the above note says, the princess is now in the stocks. I wish she would not insist on being pregnant. She just will, so now I have let her get on with it. She chatters to me about being mixed up with the Virgin Mary. Harris to Crowley, December 11th, 1942. It says, for me, the Prince of Dusk is the most beautiful female figure in the entire Thoth Tarot. She's strong and beautiful, Crowley affirms, with an expression of intense brooding, as if about to become aware of secret wonder. To be embarrassingly honest, I am most profoundly and most hopelessly in love with her. I am not alone in my sloppy adoration of divine image. Enlargements of this card adorn the living room walls of many of my colleagues, and it is one of the most frequently reproduced cards of the deck. I now ask the reader to recall the characteristic fairy tale we discussed in Chapter 11, and the importance of the princess as carrier of the essence of the highest high and the lowest low. As earth of earth, she is the lowest court card of the lowest suit. She is the ultimate princess. Not only is she pregnant with the highest high / lowest low and everything in between of the suit of discs, she is pregnant with the highest high / lowest low and everything in between of all the suits. She is the Malkuth of Malkuths and carries within her body the potential of all possible possibilities and the key to perpetuating the life of the universe. So this could be seen as the lowest low. I'm just going to read this whole card because it's very interesting. As a priestess of Demeter, she arises in her glory from out of the earth itself and establishes her altar in the midst of a grove of barren and dying trees, that her fertile presence will now restore to green health. Her magic wand is the diamond-tipped rod, symbolic of the essence of Kether, which is the highest of the high, and whose tetrahedral form is the basic structure of all carbon-based life. So here's our tree of life. This is the highest of the high. This is the lowest of the low. And everything in between. She is wrapped in an enormous cape of what appears to be animal fur, and is crowned with the head and horns of a ram. Her disc is a giant seed composed of 36 sections, perhaps suggesting the source of 36 small cards of the tarot to follow. The central germ of the seed is the Chinese yin-yang. Dark yellows and browns radiate a warm and almost humid atmosphere for this card. Textured grays combine to make this card almost tactile. All this Kabbalistic cosmology and Eleusinian mythology are fine and good, but Crowley told us at the beginning of our discussion of the court cards that these cards are suitable as being descriptive in a rough and empirical fashion of diverse types of men and women. In a tarot reading, what kind of person does the Princess of Disc represent? Because her potential is limitless. Crowley writes that she might have the reputation of bewildering inconsistency. He uses the example of a lottery, where it does not matter how many times a particular number has been drawn in the past. Each future draw provides the same odds of it being drawn or not drawn again. In the old days of male chauvinism, this quality might have been summed up in the somewhat sexist term, women's prerogative. That might have been where Crowley was coming from when he wrote that the Princess of Disc represents womanhood in its ultimate projection. As he concludes his comments on this card in the Book of Thoth, Crowley writes as if he were ending the entire book. In a way he was, because the Princess of Disc is, in many ways, the last tarot card. I would like to end our discussion of the court cards with this wonderful benediction. Let every student of this essay and of this book of Tahuti, this living book that guides man through all time and leads him to eternity at every page, hold fast this simplest, most far-reaching doctrine in his heart and mind, inflaming the inmost of his being, that he also, having explored each recess of the universe, may therein find the light of truth. So come to the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, and accomplish the great work, attain the Saman Vanam, true wisdom and perfect happiness. Sharing. This is another mother. And there's the lowest of the low. That's gonna be shared. We'll read this sharing card. This is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Fire. And it's more... The Queen of Fire is so rich, so much a queen, that she can afford to give. It doesn't even occur to her to take inventories or to put something aside for later. She dispenses her treasures without limits, welcoming all and sundry to partake of the abundance, fertility, and light that surrounds her. When you draw this card, it suggests that you too are in a situation where you have an opportunity to share your love, your joy, and your laughter. And in sharing, you find that you feel even more full. There's no need to go anywhere or to make any special effort. You find that you can enjoy sensuality without possessiveness or attachment, can give birth to a child or to a new project with an equal sense of creativity fulfilled. Everything around you seems to be coming together now. Enjoy it, ground yourself in it, and let the abundance in you and around you overflow. Nothingness. Looks like all three of them are kind of going this way. There's nothing over here. There's nothing here. And the Three of Cups. Abundance. So if we go back to the Tree of Life for water, which is what I was mistaking this Five of Cups as the Five of Pentacles. So the Three of Cups is up here in the abyss where there is nothing up here. This is kind of the first actual manifestation of something, but a pattern was started up here and then nothing. Their cups is the understanding of this first pattern that happened in the nothingness. And this nothingness is sharing something. This nothingness is also sharing something. Just as this lowest of the low, but it was such a beautiful, such beautiful words to describe that card. Three of Cups, abundance. This is Mercury and Cancer. So the three factors of our formula conspire to create a marriage made in heaven. Mercury is the will or word of the All-Father. Crowley states here its influence descends upon the most receptive of the signs. In an exuberant interpretation of the golden model, Harris fills the surface of the Three of Cups to overflowing. The images crowd to the very edges of the card. With choice of colors is drawn directly from the dictated scales, with one stunning exception, the bright red pomegranate cups. And there was also talk of Demeter over here as well. And they are elevated above a tranquil sea by lotuses and filled with living water by other overhanging lotus blossoms. Crowley calls this the card of Demeter and Persephone and the fulfillment of the will of love and abundant joy. It is the spiritual basis of fertility. One could not ask for a more perfect picture of sensuous pleasure and plenty. The imagery of the pomegranates, however, carries a subtle warning. Abundance has its price. Because she swallowed a few seeds of the pomegranate, Persephone was obliged to spend part of every year in the dark realms of her husband Pluto, the lord of the dead, and of the gods of Olympus. Not even great Zeus could break the spell. Crowley interprets it thus. The lesson seems to be that the good things of life, although enjoyed, should be distrusted. So it has something to do with that as well. Ooh, and the Three of Wands. We are still up here in the abyss. And this is the true life of fire of the wands. And we are in the three up here still in the abyss in the nothingness of wands. So you could see how he's kind of looking out, you know, into this empty land. And I imagine him facing this way, facing this huge open abyss of nothingness. And, you know, he's about to cross over. He's ready for this journey, ready for something to be materialized out of this nothingness that's going to be shared. Just like a baby, you know, kind of comes out of nothing. Took 9 months, but kind of comes out of nothing. A lot of threes. Yeah, I think we'll end with a message for the Office Oracle deck. That one and that one. I can so just sit here and cry, but he's over here. So it has to do with this nothingness of abundance that happened at the beginning of our story. But just like, you know, they have nothing over here either, but they're excited to make this journey. But it is also okay to just sit there and cry. Ooh. Tick tock. It's now or never. There are moments where we can affect change. For a few seconds every decade, we exist. These are those seconds. Storm the castle. Come on. Tick tock. It's now or never. Tick tock. What say you? I think that's exactly what was needed to be said. Thank you for being here. See you next time.